let's talk about art. Ooh, that wine was so warming. Oh, it feels so good in my stomach right now. Not to promote alcoholism, please don't. Please drink responsibly. Guys, I just finished the book. Well, I didn't just finish. I finished it this morning. It's an evening now. I had time for all my thoughts to marinate and really settle in. And I'm here to talk about this book called The Value of Art. And I'm also here to address the audacity of this cover and how much I hate it. The book about art, basically the most important works of art in the world and how expensive they are and how art should be loved and cherished. And you put whatever this is on the cover. Sir Michael Findlay, you're making me really mad. I have to accept that this cover is a little satirical because the title of the book is The Value of Art, and he masterfully explains that the value of art is completely subjective. And to put this on the cover of it is almost like, it feels satirical. It feels like, yeah, I put this on the cover. What do you have to say about it? This is the cover. And maybe it's the most artful and magnificent thing that you ever came across. And if I think that, you can't say anything about it. So I'm not actually quite sure what's going on here, if it's like an inside joke or not, but I kid you not, I could not look at this cover like the moment I started reading this book. Yeah, no, the cover came off. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it aside and look at how beautiful this is. This black void is so much more beautiful than whatever that was. So anyway, let's talk about this book. I actually want to come out of the gate and say that I am giving this book 5 stars immediately. So if you're here for, I don't know, the non-spoiler version of this. This is a nonfiction book, by the way, so I don't think you can spoil nonfiction books, but yes, if you only care about my opinion about this book, it's 5 stars. I loved it dearly. I really did. So I recommend. And for the rest of the video, I'm just gonna continue speaking about why I love it, what this book was about. So first and foremost, yeah, the structure of the book I absolutely adored. It's kind of divided into 3 sections because basically what the author is trying to convey throughout this whole book is that the value of art is based on 3 things. Number 1 is the economic value of art, so basically just how expensive it is. Some art is purchased as an investment piece to grow in value in the future so that, you know, you can resell it for profit and stuff like that. There's a lot more to it. The book is 200 pages, but this is the gist of it. Then the second part is the social value, and that, in a very simple terms, is what can you talk about it with your peers? If you have a piece of art, like just being able to discuss it with your friends or kind of show it off even, or how much meaning it has in social circles, how popular it can be and stuff like that. And the third aspect of the value of art is basically the intrinsic value of it and how it makes you feel, which is my favorite part of art. So I'm biased though. It's just I don't have $50 million to purchase a really cool painting. So to me, basically all I care about when I look at art is whether I like it or not. And that is the subjective beauty part of it. It's whether when you look at a piece of art and if you connect with it in some, you know, deep emotional way. So that's basically the structure of the book, and I have to say I thought the author did a magnificent job describing all the things. I really feel like I learned a lot, like just on paper, how much information I got from this book about how art scene exists was really, really exciting for me to learn. Personally speaking, I am not someone who remembers artists' names. Like, I know the basic ones, but honestly, even the most famous painters, for example, in this book that were mentioned, Pollock and Warhol, I had to Google their pictures just because I'm really bad with names. So really that just, if you immediately know what those are, that will tell you pretty much that I don't chase the names. I don't have a good memory whatsoever with names. I have to say, even though I don't know the technicalities of art and how much, financially it's worth and who made it when I look at it, I really do appreciate going to art museums. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I don't do it nearly enough as I wish to do it. But this book did a 10 out of 10 job of reminding me of that love that I have in my heart. And basically all throughout reading it, it just evoked this emotional feeling in me of just how art is so just amazing and how much fun it is to immerse yourself in it and go to museums and look at paintings and discuss them with whoever you're with. And I do have to say, I had to close this book several times just to pause whatever I was reading on the page to sort of give myself a moment to reminisce about the good old days when I used to live in Europe. A few times I visited France. So number one, probably most famous museum in the world is the Louvre. Wow, I'm really gonna have to Google how to say that. The Louvre. That was once in a lifetime experience, and the joy I remember and feeling, and I am still feeling, just reminiscing about it, of just visiting that incredible place. I think I'll remember it forever. And this book just reminded me so well about that feeling. It felt really fun to be educated on almost like a secret side of the art scene, because obviously I'm never gonna experience it in my life, about the super expensive and lavish parties and galas for the millionaires who just kind of gather there to hear about the next popular thing in art, and all these auctions and how those run. It was just really, really fun to learn about all the behind the scenes. So if you're curious at all about stuff like that, I think this book is a perfect fun kind of way to introduce you to that and give you a really good idea of how all of that works. I loved just how much how many sort of pictures and examples in this book were. It was just the perfect amount to illustrate the points, and the author really did a good job of introducing such beautiful works of art. I mean, some, not all. There were some artistic pieces here that I was just, I don't know, I was questioning. A really fun part about this book was just when I was reading the second part of the book, which was about the social value of art, which basically made me draw the conclusion that all value, when it comes to basically which art deserves to be talked about and recognized, it's all so made up, and it pissed me off so much. Just how made up it all is, basically. It's just one person, if that person is a popular person and they say they buy a lot of one artist's work, and they kind of subliminally suggest in other people's brains that that work of art is worth it just by association, because this person is buying all of it and is kind of vouching for it. Specific aspect is just kind of what does the it girl like? And it made me think so much about the current day and age of social media. And I just finished watching this YouTube video about something about Hailey Bieber's jeans. It explained it pretty well, but I'm so far removed from what is popular, because my opinions have never been swayed by influencers or celebrities. So to me, it was just it's a fascinating study of society to just look at a jean, a basic jean that gets sold out just because someone you like or adore, like Hailey Bieber, just said it's cool, I guess. She's the it girl, and she said she made a collaboration, so now everybody wants this thing. And there's a lot of that in the art world as well, from what I understand. And that to me, it took me by surprise, because I thought that rich people, and when I say rich, I mean like people who can afford a $50 million painting, right? I thought those kinds of people were a little more removed from influence of other people and trying to impress their friends, their neighbors and stuff like that, but they're so not. They're so much like the rest of society. It's hilarious and mind-blowing at the same time. So you can, I don't know if that's like comforting for you to know, if you fall for these like celebrity collabs and stuff like that, like whatever the Instagram influencers tell you to buy, if you tend to fall for that, just so you know, you're a lot like millionaires, because they can do the same thing. A lot of them just basically buy whatever is agreed upon that's beautiful, just because they feel like that will bring a social value about them. Like just owning a really popular Van Gogh painting will make themselves look cooler and more important, or like make them look like they understand artistic things in a way. I don't know, I'm almost getting this feeling that new collectors can sometimes feel like a FOMO thing, where they just kind of want to belong, and so they want someone else to tell them, what should I own that will make me fit in with the rest of you guys? And yeah, it's just such a fascinating thing. Very interesting point that this book also shed that I had no idea about was that art changes sort of value. Let's say if 20 years ago you look at again, I'll give the same example, Van Gogh, right? And his paintings, well, maybe that's a bad example, he was short-lived, but whoever lived a little longer and had many paintings, like sometimes art critics and the whole, you know, art scene will agree that, like, let's say his 30s when he was painting in this era were the best, and those paintings will be the most valued in the, you know, in auctions and like resale market and stuff like that. But that can change, just people's mindset. I guess the world feels different 20 years later, and then people start looking at other decades of the artist's work and kind of change their opinion that now this kind of work is better, which seems like a no-brainer. Like, yes, of course people change their minds, but I don't know, I guess I just never looked at art that way. I thought once it's decided that it's the best thing ever, it just kind of stays the best thing ever forever, but that's not true. So I loved learning about that. And I want to share with you one of my favorite parts of the book, and so I'm just going to read a little paragraph. The author says, classical, pop, jazz, rock, or rap. Many of us feel very comfortable enjoying music without being steeped in either its history or the technicalities of its performance, and we do not really need to be told what it means by an expert. Why then, when it comes to art, do most of us feel the need for someone else's words in order to have a fulfilling experience? And I really could not agree more, and it was such a I have an answer for it, actually. So I love what he just said, but it does feel a little utopian. Like, ideally, in an ideal world, yes, you would be able to say it, but I know exactly why I personally feel very comfortable with describing what I like and don't like in music versus art. In the back of my mind, there's always this murmur, I guess, in my head about how much art costs. Like, all of these things that are in museums by really famous artists, I mean, you hear about all these paintings that, I don't know, like a red square on a piece of white canvas gets sold for $50 million, and things like that. You know, a painting by Van Gogh can be $100 million. And when you think about these numbers, for a regular person like me, like, those numbers are incomprehensible. Like, I truly cannot fathom spending that much money on basically what essentially is a picture. So, I mean, I don't mean to be cynical in any way, but Van Gogh, this guy right here, I think maybe I'll post a picture next to me to show it better. But this guy right here is a highly valued painting by Van Gogh, and I can't understand why. It's like the ugliest thing. Right next to the book cover that I dropped on the floor because I couldn't look at it. That's how ugly I think this Van Gogh painting is. And if I'm told that this sold for like $20 million, then of course I'm gonna have a feeling that I have no idea what I'm talking about. And so again, ideally, the author, and bless his heart, it sounds so sincere, like we all should feel comfortable evaluating art and speaking our minds about it. But no matter what, you just will not be able to escape this feeling that other people just know so much more about it than you. Like it's a niche, and you have to educate yourself on it to be able to even participate in a conversation about it. And it all truly for me comes down to price. So I think that maybe it's like that for other people as well. And yeah, I mean, I can be pretty opinionated, and I mean, I am. And I love that about myself. And I can definitely look at a painting that's worth $100 million and say that would not hang in my house because it just, I don't enjoy looking at it. There's nothing there. And to be honest, most modern art, I skip that category in every museum that I visit. And it all seems dishonest, like almost like the artist is playing a game of like what silly thing they can create that would bring them money and fame. It almost feels like less about actually making a beautiful piece of art and more about shock value and a gimmick. That's how I feel about modern art personally. So it's just interesting to me. Yeah, I had to think a lot about that passage that I read to you from the author because it really sat with me for a full day. Like I had to pause the book and just sort of let it sink in my head and truly ask myself, what is it about art that makes me feel like I'm inadequate to discuss it? And the beautiful thing about this book and the author is that he makes a lot of effort in trying to encourage the reader to actually shift this mindset and truly just let the art speak to you. And so there was a passage later in the book where he just said, look at an art piece for an hour and just let yourself like notice different details of it and sort of let it speak to you, because the most beautiful art, or the art that you will connect the most with, the longer you look at it, the more beautiful it becomes, the more material you'll be able to soak up from it. I mean, I'm obviously paraphrasing. He said it in a lot more beautiful way. And again, this thing about art, I think in my head, I really had to dig a little into my past when I would go to an art museum. And the same example, right, in Paris, I only visited Louvre. I hate saying words that I don't know how to pronounce. When I visited it that one time, I only had one chance to see it all, right? Like I don't live in Paris or even in France, right? I mean, now I live in America, but I had one chance. So you really do, you pay for a ticket, you have one day to visit it. So there's just no chance for you to sit and look at a painting for a whole hour and let it sink in with you. You truly are pressed for time to just walk around, see as much as you can, to just basically lay my eyes on it, on these pieces that the museum purchased for tens of millions of dollars. Obviously not all of it, but like even in Paris, I saw Mona Lisa. When I say I saw Mona Lisa, it's actually the funniest memory I have from the museum because I didn't really see her. The crowd around her was so big. Fortunately, I had a huge camera with like a zoom lens on it, so I was able to zoom in and grab a picture of it. So now I always have the memory of being able to, basically my memory is being in the same room as Mona Lisa, because there was just no way to be able to get close to her. It's the funniest thing, and how tiny that painting is. If you've never seen it in person, it would blow your mind. I don't even want to spoil it, but it's the tiniest little thing on the wall, and it's hilarious because the painting is bigger than life, but it's so tiny. It's funny, it's amazing. I never really saw it up close, and I wasn't able to let it sink in, but I think it's beautiful from the pictures that I see, my own picture and just on the internet. Yeah, I think it's a wonderful painting. But in any case, you know, it's like one of the most, like some of the most regarded art in the world is in a museum. So I really just, it never even crossed my mind to just not even try to see it all. At the same time that I was reading that chapter about like social value of art, was the same time that I drove to Phoenix and visited the most expensive mall that I know that exists, at least in Phoenix, if not in whole Arizona. Basically, it has all the designer shops in there, like Dior, Chanel, I think it had Chanel, like Louis Vuitton, whatever, like all the most expensive shops that you can think of. And I will confess, I didn't even dare to enter a single one. That's how inadequate I felt. Yeah, I don't know, when it just comes to really, really expensive things, like I went to buy a what was, not Louis Vuitton, Louboutin? I'm sure I'm saying, Louboutin? The shoe, okay, the famous shoe store, and it was a beautiful store, and I saw flip-flops on the shop in the shop window, and my jaw dropped. I could not believe, because again, I've always held expensive things to a really high standard, where I'm like, if you're charging people that much for something, you have to provide the value, and that value, I don't know, it's just seeing flip-flops there that are just not even designed. They're literally the most basic thing that you can think of, just with the brand name on the side of it. It just felt like such disrespect that I couldn't even believe it. It felt like a joke. Was it supposed to be a joke? Like, I'm not in on the joke if it's a joke. A flip-flop, I don't even know the price. I just know that if you're a designer brand that made a name for themselves to design, I mean, there's no design in a flip-flop. Like, you're at this point that like designer brands make a bet of who can create the shittiest product possible. I'm a bit on a tangent right now, but it felt very relevant to me thinking about all this, like some of the modern art pieces that I've seen, and it's just a little infuriating to me. Yeah, and there was an art gallery, by the way, that I was really excited to visit because I thought it was free in that mall in Phoenix. And actually, when I walked through the door, I saw this one installation that was again, it's modern art. So in my book, it's the ugliest fucking thing ever. And it was broken, so it was under like construction, whatever. So that was the introduction to the art gallery, and then you were supposed to pay for a ticket, but it didn't even say the price, and I was like, I'm not paying for this. As much as I love art, and I was actually really excited to see some art because I was in the middle of reading this book. I just said I had to say no, because I wasn't, like, again, that was the introduction to the whole gallery. This thing, I don't want to see the rest of it. It's so ugly. I'm sorry. Again, I don't get any of it. Yeah, I don't know. And there was one art piece that I saw in Paris Museum. I'm not going to say the name again because I don't want to embarrass myself for a third time. That was really, really impressive. I have no idea who painted it, but it was basically this huge painting that took a whole wall. And it had many other paintings in it. So again, to me, that's like, how many years did this take to make and how much love and passion went into it. It's just, holy smokes. So that was really cool, and I don't know, yeah, I just loved the experience of reading this book. I loved what thoughts it arose in my head. Wow. That was a choice of word. I don't know, I'm kind of sad that this book is over. It's really only 200 pages and I want so much more. I don't know, it really made me reminisce about the book that I read many years ago now, American Psycho, if you guys know that one. It's a pretty disturbing read, but I just love the whole satirical nature of all of this obsession with distinguishing yourself from others by buying all these exclusive things, you know, rich things. I don't know, yeah, just this whole satire on the world of rich and rich people. Yeah, I don't know, I've been wanting to pick that up just because after reading this book, I just kind of want more of that. I don't know, I'm ready. I soaked in the beauty of the art, and now I'm ready to kind of flip it to the other side and read a complete perversion of it all through the eyes of the American Psycho. So yeah, I think that's gonna be my next read, maybe for next week. But yeah, I had such a good time with this book, and I really, really appreciate that the author took time and effort to write this and educate. So that was cool. If you guys stuck around for that long, thank you so much for watching. If you don't mind, give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. It would really help it grow. And other than that, I think I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.